Well, hello again. The end of February, March is about to start. Whatever that in like a lamb and out like a lion or whatever that thing is. And I've already forgotten whether the groundhog saw his shadow or didn't see his shadow. All I know is it was 60-some degrees here yesterday, and it's really cold here today. I can't wait for spring to get here and some warm weather to happen, and I'm sure you're feeling the same way. Let me throw out some kudos. Let's talk about Section 80N. Bronson, Gonzo, Nurse Bree, Caden, Oct for Life, Zen, Sunny, Needful, and Dozy. Hey, that almost sounds like the whole class. You guys are doing really good. Keep up the really good work, and we'll come back and talk about some things a little bit. But you guys are leading the way. Keep it up. Keep doing the kinds of work you're doing, and it's only going to get better. In 81N, Shark, Mother, Delilah, Cha-Cha, Bubbles, Nursing One, and Anyways. All again, almost the whole class. Way to go. Nice job. Doing good work. Just keep going along the path you're going, and my impression so far is each week things get better. In 04N, Dozer, Quicked, and Schnauzer. Way to go. Now, let's talk a little bit. For those of you who aren't doing so well, number one, look at the assignments. There are a lot of zeros on there. And I got to tell you, the more zeros that build up, the harder it's going to be for you to catch up. And I got to tell you, too, that the longer you wait to go back and catch up, the harder it's going to be for you to get a decent grade, no matter how well you do. You'll get a grade, which, as I've said time and time again, is a lot better than a zero. But, you know, folks, stay up. Stay up with what's going on. Also, don't forget the journals, the case studies, and the study quizzes. Those have got to be done. Stay up with the quizzes, the tests, the exams, whatever you want to call them. There are 10 of them in this class. And already we're up to number 5, and only a couple of people have done it, and I know that it's just getting started. But you want to stay up with that. Next week, we start the 8th week of this class. So you're going to want to be keeping ahead of the curve and keep doing good things. So pay attention to that. I announced last time that I need to hear from you about your service learning project. Guess what? Haven't heard from a whole bunch of people. And remember, the requirements are that it be a human social services nonprofit agency. Don't send me a message and say, I want to volunteer at the Stranafrat agency. I don't have a clue what the Stranafrat agency is, nor do I know if it meets the requirements. You're supposed to tell me that. Is it a human social services agency, nonprofit, and where you will come in contact with the clientele? I don't want you sitting in a back room stuffing envelopes. I want you to see the recipients of that service. We just had a poverty forum here at Ivy Tech in Bloomington, and it was really, really neat to see what happens in a situation like that where people are put into poverty-type situations. And I know a lot of you out there aren't all that well off to begin with. And you're doing a great job. And the one lesson that came out of the entire Poverty Forum was the key, the path out, whatever you want to call it, education. Get an education. Take this stuff seriously. I got to tell you, too, the writing, your writing is getting really good. Now, I still come across some grammatical things, and I come across some spelling errors. But those of you who are paying attention and writing a full-page, 12-point font. Remember that, 12-point font, double-spaced, full-page, 12-point font. You're doing pretty good, and I like reading what you're saying. Talk about yourself. Doing these try-its are wonderful, but what I want to hear from you is, what did you find out about yourself when you did that exercise? That's what this whole class is about. What are you learning? And I'm seeing some remarkable stories of things that you're finding out. Well, I never tried that kind of note-taking. Gee, I never knew that about reading. You know, when I did that laundry exercise and sorting the laundry, I thought that was the dumbest thing I ever saw until I figured out it didn't have anything to do with laundry. It had to do with organizing. Yes, way to go. Now we're doing some things in here. And that's the kind of thing this class is all about. So, you should be doing your service learning project. Remember, if it hasn't been approved and you do it, you run a risk of it not being an approved paper to turn in. You need to be thinking seriously about your career project. You need to look at that project now and take a look at the kinds of questions you're going to be asked and start looking at the things you'll need to have at your hand in order to put that all together. There are only 10 nickel and dimes. Some of you, the other thing I see is you do some of the exercises, but you don't give me a reflection paper for all of them. So I'll go along and there'll be a try it 1, try it 2, try it 3, no try it 4, try it 5, try it 6, a case of, and no nickel and dimed. That's killing you. Turn in every assignment. Stay up with this stuff. You know what? I said it, I'm going to say it again. This is probably the only class you'll ever take in your entire college career that is exclusively about you. You. There aren't any right answers or wrong answers. There are only your answers. So please, do the work. It's not that hard. Yeah, there's a little bit to it. And yes, you've got to spend a little bit of time doing it. But when you're writing about yourself based on what you found out about yourself when you did the try-its. Give it a break. Make things happen. Some of you are doing really, really good work. There's going to be a fair number of A's in this class. And don't let the numbers kind of mess you up right now. You could end up with an A in this class with a final grade of 80-something. I don't get too hung up on what the numbers are finally. What I'm looking for is how much did they turn in and on time? How well did they do? Was it going up at the end of the class as opposed to you were going down at the end of the class? Those kinds of things I pay attention to. What about your attendance? Were you there and doing the discussion boards or in class every week? That makes a huge difference. That's a tiebreaker. You know, you've been to every class, you've shown up, you've done what you're supposed to do, and let's say you got an 88 or an 87 even for your final grade. That could really be an A because you were at all the classes, you did your work on time, and your grade was kind of going up like that at the end of the class. That's what it's all about. Let me just say again, way to go. Those of you who are kind of getting in with it and letting it go with the flow, way to go. The other thing is, be careful you don't let negativism creep into your vocabulary. I see some of you are kind of negative about everything. Watch it. You know, that's an outlook on life. It's not just about this class. If everything you see is dumb and bad and stupid and all of that, you know, that's a bad outlook. I worked with somebody once who, whenever you said, how's it going, how you doing, anything like that, his standard answer was wonderful. Think about what would happen if you answered every question, you know, how you feeling, how's it going, with wonderful. You know, it's an attitude thing. Make things happen. We'll see you next week. What do we have coming up? We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up, and it's Lent, and some of you have already given up things. Don't give up this class. Keep on going. We'll talk to you again. Have a great one. Bye.